On this episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast, we talk about The Wild Hunt by the tallest man on Earth. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
We're two professional broadcasters. We like metal and we like to talk about it. But every once in a while, we like to set aside some time to talk about stuff that isn't metal. Specifically, every once in a while. Being,
twice a year.
March and September.
Right.
But yeah,
and this being March.
This is March. Yeah. Yes, this is March.
Yeah.
Yep. It's my birthday in a couple of days. No, it is September. Right. And we are going to be talking about an album that I've listened to a fair few times, though it's been a while, by a Swedish folk artist's name is the artist name is the tallest man on earth. His name is Kristian Matsson. Right. Yeah, we'll talk more about this album a little bit later on. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I just burped and I got a little bit of...
Thanks for letting us know.
Well, I'm going to explain.
Okay.
I got a little bit of lettuce and special sauce going on.
Yeah, because you had half a Big Mac.
Half a Big Mac. That's true. Because I got to dropping stuff over there.
I dropped my headphones case.
I got to to doing stuff, and then it got cold, and I don't want a cold Big Mac, even though about every Big Mac you've ever had has been cold. Yeah,
me personally, about every Big Mac I've ever had has been at best lukewarm.
Right. You never get it right out of the deep fryer.
No. the Big Mac deep fryer.
The Big Mac deep fryer. They used to deep fry the Big Macs.
Yes, that would be better.
Maybe.
Probably.
Deep fried lettuce.
I'm sure you can get it at the Minnesota State Fair. I'm sure you can get a deep fried burger.
I've heard people say that the deep fried ranch is fantastic.
I don't care for regular ranch.
You don't care for just ranch out of the bottle?
I know I've just lost my Midwesterner card by saying that, but I don't care for ranch dressing out of the bottle, so I doubt I would like it deep fried.
Okay. Do you like it? Do you prefer a different type of dressing?
Well, I don't.
Like on a salad?
I don't actually usually go for much dressing on salads.
Really?
Usually. I also don't really eat salads very often.
Of course not.
So I can't like a thin like an aioli or something like that. Or no, that's not it.
Maybe.
I don't know what sauce. I don't know what sauces people put on salads.
Do you put like motor oil? Would you put in your salad?
Some kind of oil. I'm sure I've had on a salad.
Pennzoil.
Okay. Pennzoil. Yeah.
Yes. Kind of salad you having? 10W40?
Yeah. You want the new
summer?
I prefer the winter mixture actually.
Okay. So 5W30.
Yeah. 5W30.
Gotcha.
Is I prefer that.
No synthetics.
No. Right. Only the purest dinosaur fuel for me. Decomposed dinosaurs. But no, I don't know. I haven't I haven't eaten a ton of salads in my time. Can you tell?
By looking at you, yeah.
This body is all meat and carbs.
Yeah, there you go.
But
bread and beef.
That's for me. I know where the beef is because it's in my tummy.
Belly.
It's in my tummy. I ate it.
I told you I know a dude whose entire diet is bacon, bread, and ketchup.
Yeah, you told me. That's not the same guy you were talking about who's you're pretty sure is a moral sociopath.
No.
That's not the same guy.
That's an entirely different fat person.
That's an entirely different person.
Yeah.
But so it was bread, bacon, and what?
And ketchup.
Together?
Sometimes.
Bacon. I'm willing to put ketchup on a lot of things that most people would go like, man, you shouldn't put ketchup on that. I'm willing to do that. Bacon is not one of the things that I would put ketchup on.
No?
No. Unless it is part of the part of the toppings on a burger, right? If it's a bacon cheeseburger, puts with some ketchup on the bun, that's fine. But in anything else, bacon and ketchup to me don't go together.
Just don't go together.
No.
You know what I do, and this is probably going to gross you out at least a little bit.
Maybe.
I like to get crispy bacon at the stop of trucks there, and I like to get a cup of brown gravy and dip the bacon into the brown gravy. That
doesn't gross me out.
No,
I can see that. I mean, like people like to put gravy on their breakfast stuff.
Yeah, that's why I get the eggs, the toast, the hash browns, the bacon, and then I put the gravy on the hash browns and I dip the bacon in it.
I can see that for sure.
It's fantastic.
That sounds like it would be good. I think. I don't begrudge you that mixture.
If only it was saltier.
So yes, the gravy needs more salt.
Right. So you put bacon in it.
Yep. Are you breathing heavily?
I'm feeling
from that half a Big Mac you ate.
Feeling short of breath.
Famously extremely filling burger, the Big Mac.
Chest pains.
You're dying from the bacon.
Dying from the thought of the bacon and the gravy on it.
The very thought of gravy bacon. It's just thinking about is raising your blood pressure. Yeah, I think that's a fine mixture.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, the other guy, he's the sociopath that I know. He he is he's a crazy person. I love the guy. We have fun, we laugh every time we get together, and it's a good time.
Yeah.
But I to some degree I feel a little unsafe. all the best people I've known in my life, I always feel a little unsafe around them.
You're always a little concerned for your own safety.
Yeah, and the safety of others. Yeah.
It's interesting. All of the best people I know.
All the best people I know
might be serial killers.
I mean, none of the people listening right now.
None of those people.
No, I don't feel safe around. I mean, I don't feel unsafe around any of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
I am also exhausted.
I slept bad last night. No, I mean, I haven't slept well in years, let's be frank, but last night was worse than normal.
I almost broke into Frank. Just
you almost why?
Because you said let's be frank.
Let's be frank. All right. It's me, Mantis Toboggan. I'm the trash man. Oh God. See, my whole brain is still is consumed by the move at the moment. So, and it will continue to be so for another couple of weeks.
I feel like that was a new wave band from Britain in the 80s.
The Move?
Yeah.
Or Consumed by the Move?
Ooh, that would be that. Oh, I would listen to that.
That's an album.
Consumed by the Move.
The band is the Move.
The album is
Consumed.
Yes. By the band The Move.
Yes. I'm just continuing to think about stuff. Now I'm thinking about acquiring somehow a flat, like a flat. I guess they call them moving carts.
Yeah,
I guess
like a trolley of some kind.
Yeah, a four-wheeled cart with a big tall handle that you can push and put a bunch of stuff on. What are you looking at?
I was not wrong. Only they formed in 1965.
Oh, there is a new wave. Oh, it's not a new wave band.
No, they are British, just a regular British rock band. From Birmingham,
called The Move.
Yeah,
interesting. But yeah, I'm thinking about getting. If I can get my hands on one of these things, it would be very convenient for the couple of days that I'm going to be moving all of my shit rather than my furniture. All of my shit.
All of your shit.
All of my shit.
Like I said, check over there at the Tool Crib.
The Tool Crib of the North.
Electric.
Apparently you can rent them there.
Yeah, I've rented stuff from there before, and it's always a good deal.
Although you were saying when you found those that I guess they're kind of small.
Yeah, that. Well, I mean, look, hey, this is exactly what Kale's looking for. And then I read the fine print and I went, oh, it's like a toy.
Yeah, it's tiny. Still might be helpful. I don't know.
I mean, you could stack. What you could do is you could stack tubs on it.
Yeah,
It'd be big enough for that.
I guess it would depend on what's in the tubs. I would almost be afraid to. Really, depending upon like if it's how small it is, how much surface area, because you've seen the totes that I have in my living room.
I totes have.
They're big.
Yeah. I mean, but the regular size totes, I mean, they're the kind of totes you buy.
Sure.
But I think this cart is sort of made exactly for that.
And some of those do have wheels on the bottom of them. Some of the totes have wheels on the bottom. But it would be nice to be able to just like, after however many trips it takes for me to bring them down to my car and load them in, to not have to make several trips to and from my car at the new apartment, and just to be able to stack all of them onto the cart, take them inside, because there's an elevator at my new place. So that would be nice.
Like I said, my dude, if you want to borrow my hatchback for moving, that'd be fine. You put those seats forward and you could fit a whole shitload of totes in there.
I might take you up on that.
All right.
We'll have to see. I don't, but then we would be like trading cars for a bit. Yeah. And I just feel like my car is the interior of my car is it's not gross. It's just dirty.
That's cluttered.
It's dirty and cluttered. I've got a bunch of kayak shit that I just throw in the back seat.
I mean, you've seen my desk at work, right? I mean,
that's fair.
I'm a stranger to clutter.
Sure. Yeah. Like I haven't vacuumed, the floor of the driver's side in a long time. So there's like probably at least a pound of gravel in there.
But are there 9 syrups stacked in there?
There are not 9 stirrups.
Stirrups?
There are not 9 syrup packages stacked on top of anything in my car. No.
Right. Is there a drawer dedicated to spiders?
No, there is not.
Okay.
Nor is there a decade-old tiny box of Cheerios.
Oh wow, you're giving me some credit there. That's
it's older than that.
That's way older than a decade.
Okay. All right.
That was during the flood, so that's
so at least 13 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I might eat them.
And that was the last we heard from OJ. He ate a 13-year-old box of Cheerios and died. Yeah. So there's stuff I'm figuring out. I am also figuring out. I think I've decided what I'm doing about my bed. I'm just going to order it, and I might actually have it delivered to work.
Right.
And
that'd be a good move.
Because the packages don't take up actually all that much space.
Right. They're heavy.
As far as I'm aware. Yeah, they'll be heavy, but they're fairly small. So I'm sure it'll be all right. And then when I'm ready to move in, I'll take them over and assemble. And I'll probably be spending the night at my new place on Friday night. Partially because I will not have internet at this location as of Friday night, because one of the 2 internet service providers in this city, none of the techs work on weekends, which
I want to get a job with them.
I get it's a private business and they're free to set up their practices however they want. But it also feels like one of those things that they can get away with because they're almost the only game in town.
Right.
Like that's the thing about internet service providers in rural places is they can get away with fucking anything because you have no other options. And it's like maybe I shouldn't be as frustrated about it as I am, but like thinking about it is like, say your internet goes out for some reason. It's not a network wide outage. Like something's wrong with your internet at your location and it goes down on Friday evening. And say, for example, you work remotely on weekends.
Right. Which I do.
you're just fucked. You're just fucked for the whole weekend. And
I mean, honestly, for you or I, it's not that big a deal.
But like, I'm just talking about the
principle of the thing.
On the on principle of like, you are running a service. Like, yeah, people got by without internet fine for a long time.
Not
Those days have gone. Like, internet is in some countries, access to the internet is considered a human right. Like, it's, it's considered a basic right of those nations. So like, I don't know. It just seems wild to me that, they don't work at all. I could kind of understand Sundays. A lot of places around here don't work on Sundays.
Right.
The fucking postal service still doesn't work on Sundays except for some specific package deliveries. And that's the government. But like, it's just, I can understand the office. Like their office being closed on weekends, but none of their techs working at all or being on call for anything is weird to me. Yeah. Like I said, it's a service. You're running a service. You wouldn't do that for electricity. You can't do that for electricity in this state. No. Because if someone loses power, they die.
Right.
If someone loses power in the middle of February, they can die.
Indeed.
Obviously the internet is not that serious, but again, it's the principle of the thing. It's like you are running a service. What the fuck?
If you run out of internet in the middle of January,
you die.
You die.
Yeah, ultimately it's not that big of a deal. It's just a little frustrating because it would have been nice to, have a completely clean sort of like, hey, transition from one place to the other and not have anything be a little weird. And like, I don't know how much I'm going to be using the internet on that Friday, but I'm not going to be moving literally the entire day. Like, I'm going to want to stop at some point on Friday afternoon and relax. And me being a millennial, I don't have analog entertainment other than books. Like all of my, I don't have cable. I don't have everything goes through the fucking internet.
No DVDs.
I guess I could just play. I could play games on my PC. I do have DVDs and Blu-rays. That I haven't used in a very, very long time. Also, with the exception of my Lord of the Rings Blu-rays.
What do you call those paper things with the?
I said books.
Oh, you did say books.
I said books.
Oh, that's right.
So, I don't know. It would be nice to be able to sit and.
So what are you doing then?
Well, that is what I'm going to do though. That's why I'm spending the night at my new place on Friday. But
so they're disconnecting the internet here and they're connecting it over there on Friday.
Yeah, they're at 8 a.m. on Friday morning.
That's fun. You're taking the day off, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have Thursday and Friday off. But
right.
Yeah. I wasn't even asked by them like, oh, what would be a good time? They just said 8 a.m. Friday morning. It's like, well, fuck me. Okay.
Well, at least I gave you a specific time. There's a lot of times you say, hey, what time do I need to be there? Sometime between 8 and 5.
Maybe that's what she meant. She didn't say, an end time. I did not have a great customer service experience with the folks from Midco.
Yeah.
And it seriously got me reconsidering having them be my internet service provider. But the same service with the only other ISP in town is $10 more expensive than what I will be paying at my new apartment. So,
so you're staying with Incontinent Cable for now.
Yes, I'm staying with Incontinent Cable. They piss themselves all the time.
They really shit the bed on that.
They really shit the bed.
Yeah.
Incontinentia buttocks. But yeah. Oh, have you just noticed that the cat has just walked over? Have you just noticed that OJ's here and so now you have to bother me and try to jump up into my lap, even though any other time I'm sitting in this chair, you're fine with just sitting somewhere else?
You go up here.
She is ignoring you
entirely. But that's so odd. She never ignores me entirely.
She never ignores everyone but me entirely. But yeah, the move will continue to be a thing. But I mean, like if I have my bed ready to go and I just set it up there, and move over, like there's a lot of stuff other than the biggest pieces of furniture that I will be able to move over on my own. So it'll be fine. I'll have
big pieces of furniture you moving. I guess your table and this table.
My table, probably this desk. I
mean, what are you doing with the couch? Are you just gonna?
The couch is getting probably taken to the dump.
Okay.
And so is my bed. My current bed. I haven't really thought about getting a new dresser, but I probably ought to.
Really? Why is that?
Because it's old and kind of broken.
Really?
The one that I have, but it's kind of fine. I am thinking about doing a thing that you told me that you do, because I was complaining about how much I hate folding laundry.
Right.
And I think you mentioned, like, even with t-shirts, just put them on hangers.
Yeah. That's what I do. I do all my clothes, except for my socks and my wife beaters.
Yeah.
Those go in a drawer. Other than that, all my clothes just hang up. Yeah. And it saves me on, like, if they come out still damp from my crappy dryer,
just hang them up.
And then they finish drying on their own.
Yeah, and like my new place, the master bedroom, has like a walk-in closet with a lot of space to hang shit. So nice. I might just do that.
Yeah.
And just get rid of my old dresser.
And you don't have to fold clothes that way too.
Yeah, that's why you brought it up originally. Is like, don't have to fold clothes. And no, I think I'll probably end up doing something like that, because I've had that dresser since I was in high school, and it's just it suffered, I think, a bit of a fall during my last move, and something sort of broke, but it was okay.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know if I'll get a new one, but I don't know if I really need a new one.
Yeah, they take up space, and if you got a walk-in closet, I mean,
yeah.
And that one's probably old and sticky too. I mean.
That dresser is so sticky.
Why is it so sticky?
Why is this dresser sticky? Speaking of sticky. No, that means nothing. So Kristian Matsson, aka the tallest man on earth, is a Swedish folk musician. He started making music back in 2006. Or at the very least, that's when his solo career started. Actually, I don't know precisely when let's see, does it say here? It does not say when he started performing exactly.
I was also very upset to find out that he's like 5'11". It's like,
yeah, he's not that tall.
No, he's like,
actually, he's 5'7" according to
his Wikipedia. Is he 5'7"?
Yeah. But he was apparently the lead singer of an indie band called Montezuma's before he started doing solo work.
Sure.
But that started in 2006 with his EP, self-titled EP, The Tallest Man on Earth. Then made a few albums. The Wild Hunt, which is what we're talking about today, is his second album.
From
2010, yes. And this is an album that I have listened to probably a fair few times. I think there was a period around like my senior year of college and the couple years after that where I was listening to a lot more like neo folk music. And that's sort of fallen by the wayside.
Sure.
Some of the artists, I didn't like delve too deeply into that genre. But I definitely had, a few favorite artists that I would listen to fairly regularly that I haven't listened to in a long time. And it just occurred to me like, we haven't, I haven't listened to this in a while, and it's something that I've never brought to the podcast.
Right.
And this album specifically is one that I really, really deeply associate with fall, which we are now in. It's officially. It just feels, it's a very autumn album.
It's autumnal.
It's very autumnal. I think part of that has to do with the album art. I think the cover art even kind of looks sort of North Dakota-y, even though I'm sure it's somewhere in probably northern Sweden. But
it's really the same place.
Yeah, it's really the same. Well, northern Sweden has more mountains.
Yeah, they have topography.
Yeah, there's some changes in elevation, but go far enough north and there's about the same number of trees. But yeah, it definitely just has a really strong fall vibe for me.
Right.
The musical style on this is one that he sort of evolved away from a little bit, at least not quite so much in songwriting terms, but in arrangement. This is a very, very stripped down album where the vast majority of it is just him and a guitar, usually recorded on one microphone all together in one take.
Right.
And there's a lot of charm to that. I think the first track, there was some mandolin accompaniment. And then the second to last track is maybe not piano, but some kind of keyboard. Not coming to mind, but something on the keys.
Organ.
I don't know if it was organ, but something keyboard wise. And over his career, he's slowly sort of incorporated more instruments onto his recordings. But this is definitely a pretty major. This is considered like sort of the epitome of sort of his songwriting style. Although it's not distinctly his songwriting style, he's drawn a lot of comparisons to Bob Dylan, who is, by his own admission, a massive
influence
on his music.
And he does see, hey, kind of sounds like a little bit,
a lot grittier, I would say, than Bob Dylan. He has a certain quality to I don't know the vocal term for it necessarily. It's not fry, but there is a certain kind of gritty, gravelly quality to it. Not in a like Tom Waits sense, but there is a roughness to his voice, despite the fact that he has a higher register.
Right.
There is a rougher quality that he sort of introduces to his singing. At least on here, there are some times where it seems like that's something that he consciously adds to his voice rather than just what he naturally sounds like.
Right.
I don't know, and my vocabulary is not wide enough to know how to describe that particular quality of his voice. But
it's like a natural distortion.
Yeah. I suppose distortion would probably be the term for it.
Yeah.
What did you think about this
I really like this. This when I first listened to this, my first thought was, I want to play this in my car as the sun is setting and I'm hitting the highway.
Yeah. This does have road trip vibes to it.
It has serious road trip vibes.
I agree with you. I think I probably have played it while I've been on a road trip during the fall at some point. To me, it also not so much evening, but early morning. There's something about early mornings in the fall that this album kind of evokes a little bit. There's a kind of a chill, a colder edge to it.
Right. I just got chills.
Yeah. Part of that, I think, might be the sort of bare bones instrumentation to it.
It's how stark it is.
Yeah. Although, like bare bones instrumentation, part of the reason why he plays with just a guitar is his guitar playing is fantastic.
It is.
He plays, he plays finger style, and part of, that playing technique is you can much more easily kind of accompany yourself on a guitar. And so he tends to, I think he described his playing style as being easy but sounding intricate, of he uses a variety of different open tunings, and his technique allows him to make stuff that sounds very impressive, but isn't necessarily super difficult to play. Which I think is a very good happy medium to sit in, especially if it's just you on stage most of the time,
right?
Which it is. It's usually just him on stage, and you are singing and playing guitar at the same time. It helps to not have to play something ludicrously complicated,
right?
But that still sounds good to a big audience,
right?
I like this album quite a lot. I feel like I probably enjoy. It's not the next album after this. There's an EP. Maybe it is the next album. It's called "There's No Leaving Now." Yeah, that's called his third album. That one I think is probably my favorite of his from 2012. Definitely has a bit of a little bit of a darker vibe to it. It's kind of sad and depressing, which is probably why I like it.
Yeah.
The sad goblin in my head.
I also listened to that EP.
Which one?
I don't know which one it was.
There are so many.
I think it started me off because I just typed in the artist's name and then it started playing me music. I'm like, cool. I want to listen to this.
Sure.
And then it wasn't, the album for the week.
Shallow Grave was his first album. Was it Sometimes the Blues is Just a Passing Bird?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There's also another his fourth studio album, which I don't know that I've listened to, which is called Dark Bird Is Home. I probably listened to it at least once. That one specifically was inspired by a divorce he went through, and then a family member of his passed away. And then from 2019, another one that I probably listened to more than the others is his album I Love You, It's a Fever Dream, which the title track from that one I actually have listened to. I've gone back and listened to much more recently and more frequently than a lot of the other songs on here. It's really good. The rest of the album is great, but the title track is phenomenal. I really enjoy it. But and he's got a couple albums that have come out since then. There's an album full of covers called Too Late for Edelweiss that came out in 2022. That has covers of like Bon Iver songs and The National and whatnot. And then his most recent album is called Henry Street that came out in 2023, which I haven't listened to. I haven't thought about in a while.
Sorry, an old friend of mine, his wife really loved The Sound of Music. And so one of her favorite songs was Edelweiss. And my friend, being the person that he is, made sure to always sing it as Anal Vice.
Oh, no.
She's like, don't, Michael, shh, stop it.
You're ruining it.
You're ruining it.
This is a thing I love, and you're ruining it.
Anal Vice. Anal Vice. Got to get a good grip on your anus.
Yep. I mean, do your Kegels. Don't forget to do your Kegels, everyone. Maintain that pelvic floor.
He's dead now.
Of course he is. Every story.
All my stories in him. He's dead now.
And he's dead now. Yeah.
So there you go. Tallest man on earth.
Kristian Matsson, not dead. He's still alive.
Yeah, he's younger than me, I'm sure.
He's not that much younger than you actually. I think he's 41.
Oh. Yeah. I'm old enough to be his father.
Oh no. Oh no.
What?
That's not good.
No. Became a father at 9. No, I did not. I did not do that.
That's no good. I think when I first listened to this album, a lot of the other artists I was listening to was like I think I was still listening to a lot of Glenn Hansard, who like you and I have talked about. Yep. I don't know if we've talked about any Glenn Hansard stuff on the podcast.
I don't think so.
but I've talked to you about him. And also Iron and Wine was another artist.
Love me some Iron. I almost got to see him.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that would probably. I should see what new stuff he's put out lately, because I always really loved his voice and his vibe. But kind of like with Tallest Man on Earth, I haven't listened to it in a while. Right. So should go back and kind of dive back into some newer folk stuff that's been coming out.
Yeah.
I feel like I should just listen to more folk music in general, because it a lot of it feels like it's kind of my vibe and my speed when it comes to non-metal stuff that I enjoy.
And I feel like it's stuff like that helps you enjoy the metal stuff better.
Yeah, when you have a wider frame of reference for it.
You're like, I get what you're doing, Aaron. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I got like you said, you mentioned there with Aaron West. Was that? Well, yeah, that's if you're listening to Aaron West, because that's more sort of folkier. So
it's got some folk sides to it, but it's mostly more Americana, I guess. Yeah. The two genres are very interlinked.
Yeah, they're very overlapped.
There's a lot of overlap there. But Americana and like pop folk stuff or stuff. I've listened to plenty of artists that sort of ride the line. You got your sort of the boy genius area with Phoebe Bridgers and Lucy Dacus and whatnot. There, definitely lots of folk influence in those artists, but there's always room for more.
As well as the heavy folk influence in certain black metal outfit from Minnesota.
Oh yeah. Folk and bluegrass,
and black metal,
and black metal, and plenty of other kinds of metal as well, especially lately. Yeah. I'm sure the next time there's another new Panopticon album that comes out, I will not have heard about it until several months later, because that's what's happened with the last two. Well, because I pop onto Spotify and I'm like, fuck, there's a new Panopticon album. When did this come out? 3 months ago? What? Like, that's happened like the last couple of releases.
I feel like he's just not good at informing anybody.
Yeah. It's also might be just kind of his thing of just here it is. I put it out.
Right. I worked on this for a year.
Here you go.
There you go. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. That feels like a very Austin Lund sort of thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you think this album slaps?
I mean, yeah.
I think it slaps. I feel it has a good tempo to it. Almost all of the songs have a sort of bouncy feel to them. Not necessarily like a happy bouncy feel, but not to super low emotion either. I think depends on the song.
I think my second favorite song on here is the bounciest song on the album.
King of Spain? Yeah, King of Spain is a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is a fun song.
So score, it's got a 79 on Metacritic, which is pretty good. Let's get to favorites then. What's your favorite track on the album?
I mean, King of Spain would be it if this album didn't have Love Is All on it.
Yeah, that's my favorite too.
Yeah.
Love Is All is it's a fantastic song. And a lot of my favorite tracks of his from throughout his career are similar to Love Is All. Title track from There's No Leaving Now is like that. Title track from I Love You, It's Fever Dream is like that as well. His really kind of all of his music is pretty heartfelt and earnest, but his kind of slower, more saccharine, I feel like is a term that has a little bit of negativity layered into it, the way that it tends to be used in criticism anyway.
So it's like saccharine usually means like overly sweet and too fake sweet, and being so.
It's not the right term, but his more my vocabulary is once again.
How about just sweet? I mean,
just sweet. His slower and sweeter songs. Definitely, he's very good at. He's good at everything that all of his music. He's good at it. I'm not wordsing so good anymore.
I hope you're not going all Bruce Willis on us. I mean,
I've got aphasia. That would be disastrous for a man who talks for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that.
Believe me, I've been wordsing forget things for all my life. Okay. So you have many years of suffering to endure.
It's not necessarily a sign that something's wrong.
No.
Okay.
You is good.
Okay, me is good?
Yes.
Good. Why use many word when less word work just as good? When me president, they see.
They see.
They see. So what medal do you bestow upon this, like Maz Kanata to Chewbacca?
It's upper silver for me.
I think I agree with you. I was tempted just to give it a gold for nostalgic purposes, but I feel like it's a little bit more silver. I wonder if on a reexamination of some of his other albums, if I would give some of them a gold. This is fantastic, however, and I think it's a great starting point for anyone who's interested in his music. It's like, this is the tallest man on earth. This is everything you need to know.
5'7".
He's 5'7". The tallest man on earth is only 5'7". He's from Sweden. I think this is a fantastic place to start.
Yes.
And you can listen to the rest of his music. Sort of like Bob Dylan, his voice is considered a little divisive. Some people don't like his singing voice the same way some people just don't like Bob Dylan's singing voice.
Right.
But if his voice is not incredibly grating to you, then I think you'll have a great time with his discography. So that is it for a non-metal September.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about next time when it'll be October?
Well, it's an album that I can't believe I've never brought to the podcast because it's fantastic.
Okay.
The album is called Crimson by the band Edge of Sanity.
Edge of Sanity.
They are, like the tallest man on earth, from Sweden. Yes.
The name sounds familiar. I just want to make sure that we haven't listened to them before.
Okay, I thought I brought it up before.
Yeah,
I brought it up before, but I don't know if we listened into it. Listen into Jiminy Christmas.
Words not so gooding.
Words not gooding. So okay. Check it out. See if he's looking at the list of.
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I don't believe we have.
I think the only.
I think I talked about it in August, and you're like, yeah, but next week is September. I'm like, okay. Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing that's coming up for Crimson is In the Court of the Crimson King.
Sure.
So, In the Court of the Crimson King. So, yeah, absolutely. Edge of Sanity next week.
All right.
Until then, why don't you out there, the listener, hello. Hi. Why don't you go ahead and follow us on Facebook or the website formerly known as Twitter, or go ahead and subscribe to our feed on whatever podcast service you're currently using to listen to us on forthwith. Thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Bronze Medalist Podcast. I'm Kale.
Oh, I'm OJ.
Congratulations. Immediate explosive diarrhea. What about implosive diarrhea?
Implosive diarrhea, my God.
I don't know what that would do. I guess it would.
I think what would happen is it would be a big squirt of shit and your body would become a singularity.
You would.
Squish together like you're trying to get that last bit of ketchup out of the packet.
An implosive fart. So what happened to that submarine? Oh god!
It reached critical mess.
Did you say critical mess? Yeah.
All right. Oh boy.